Yo, what up? It's Yujin Tang. So a few days ago, I posted a blog post about graphing the polarity of YouTube titles versus their number of views per day. And here I'm going to just show you how to do that in a video, since someone was like, yeah, you should make a YouTube video out of this, so I will. So this is the same as what we made in our last video, and I'll put a link to that somewhere. I haven't really figured out how to put a link. I might figure out how to do that in the video, but basically what we're going to do here is just figure out what we're doing here is we're just setting up, like, calling Selenium to use our Chrome driver and to open up a Chrome window so that we can scrape the front page of YouTube. So basically we're going to import regex. This is regular expressions so that we can get all the links that start with watch, right? And then request, this is going to be used later, data parser, datetime, JSON. This is for plotting. This is for parsing dates. This is for sending HTTP requests. This is for the JSON. And this is all the Selenium stuff. We're going to need a web driver, a service, service, and options, and then we need sleep so that we can wait for it to load, and then beautiful soup is what we're going to use to do our HTML parsing. And I also imported the API key because we're going to need an API key from the text API. You can go get your free API key at www.thetextapi.com. So this is where I have my Chrome driver. You just need to save your Chrome driver somewhere. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. I also have a link to that in the description of the other video. So then we create our Chrome service using our Chrome driver path, and then we'll pass some options in. So I want it to run headless, which means it's not going to pop up on the screen, and this is just, it takes up less space, less processing power. I'm going to run it incognito mode, and then we just simply call our driver and we make a Chrome driver. Then we go to YouTube is our home page. We're going to go get it doesn't really matter if you make this variable home or not, if you just put this directly in here. Basically, we're going to go get the YouTube, and then we're going to sleep 5 seconds just to make sure that things load. And then we're going to call beautiful soup to parse our page source, and then we're going to get all of our titles using regular expressions, all of the links that start with watch. So yeah, and we're going to have to deal with a little bit of this. We're going to have to handle some exceptions on this later, because there's some videos on YouTube that there's some links on YouTube's front page that will link to watches that don't have like full title stuff that we're going to need when we're actually parsing our stuff. So let's figure out how to parse our stuff. So we're going to call the API twice. So we're going to make the headers here first. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some headers for our API. And all our headers are going to do is just tell the server that we're sending in a JSON content, and also pass in our API key. Yep. And then I'm going to make the text URL. You'll see why in a second. So text URL is going to be, this is the base endpoint for the text API. It's https://app.thetextapi.com/text. And so it's not www, which is the website. It's app, which is the API endpoint. And for our NIR, that's named entity recognition. We're going to use this to get the dates. Yeah, we're going to need that. And then we're also going to call polarity. So I'm going to make that right here. Polarity URL is equal to text URL plus text polarity. Okay, so now we're going to define. So we're going to run a for loop. Actually, I'm going to define this in a function because I think this is important. So def, what should we call this? Let's call it title. Let's call it get views per day. Get views per day, and it'll take a titles. So for we're going to return a title dict. So title dict. Cool. So this is going to be a dictionary that's going to have a title as a key and the views per day as the value. Dictionary is just key value pairs, right? So for title and titles, we're going to parse our title. So what are we going to do? Text is equal to title dot get aria label, and what else? If text is none, we're just going to continue. We're just not going to bother dealing with that, because sometimes you're going to get a text equals none because of the YouTube descriptions that will link you to videos without titles on it, because it's like a one of those ads or banners, right? So now what we want to do is, I'll just show you what the text looks like before we move on. Views per day, titles equals titles. Okay, so let's just see what this looks like. Python YT views by Polarity. I told you long ago, I got what they looking for. Yeah, I have Industry Baby stuck in my head, so yeah, I'm just singing. So, all right, so this is what the titles will look like. Basically, you'll get all the titles on the front page, and you'll also get when they were uploaded, how long they are, and the number of views. So here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to separate these into elements. So we're going to separate words. And that's just going to be, we're just going to call split. We're going to call split on space. And we're just going to get the second and last one. That's going to be equal to views. So number of views is equal to words -2. So yeah, you can call negative indices in Python, and that'll get you the reversed place in the list. So unlike so if you call 0, you get the first word, and you get -1, you get the last word. Slightly counterintuitive, but there's no -0, so what are you going to do? So here we're also just going to we're going to strip these commas out, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to turn it into an integer. Okay, so that'll be our number of views, and then we'll also have to get our title. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to rejoin. We're gonna split it again in a second, but we're gonna rejoin our words. So we're gonna join them with space. Join words up to our second one. So this is gonna get all of these words. Taylor Swift's 10-minute version of All Too Well almost wasn't recorded, extended Tonight Show by The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon 2 days ago, 9 minutes 39 seconds. This is an example of what it would look like. I love Taylor Swift, so anyway. I'm glad this one has a lot of views, 3 million views. Wow, sick. Haha, nice. So rejoin like that, and then we'll just split on the by so that we lose this by The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. We don't care about that. And then from there, we're going to also, so now we know, so this part is part of is the second element, and this part will be the first element. And so, you access the first element with 0, so this is the title, element 0, right? And then the second element, I'm going to call it meta info, kind of like Facebook. They have all your info, and now they're meta. Rejoin 1. And then we're going to we're going to make the body. So this is what we're going to send to the named entity recognizer. Meta info. Yep. Okay. And now we're just going to send response. So response is equal to request dot post URL equals ner URL. Headers equals header. Oh, nice. Okay. JSON equals body. Okay. Cool. And now we're going to use JSON to load our response. So I'm going to get parts into a string and load that. And now I'm going to print what it looks like. And we're going to exit here because I only want to print one iteration. I don't want to go through all of this again. So let's see what this looks like. I got some decaf coffee. This is butter pecan swirl. I was like, ooh, okay. I got this variety pack of 40 decaf coffees, and anyway, cool. Okay, so we get a date and we get a time. So now we're going to parse this. So let's see, if dict ner, and we can get rid of this now. 0 equals date. We should actually, okay, if any of these, if date ner, we should actually just, if any of them include, we should find the one that includes date. Okay, so for element in dict ner, just because when we the name density recognition is also going to recognize the names of people. So in the example I was showing earlier with like the Jimmy Fallon one, it's going to recognize Jimmy Fallon, and so that'll be the first one. So I don't know. I guess this time, like whoever is by, like their name is like not very recognizable as a name. If element 0 equals date, time ago equals element 1, and let's also parse this time into. Let's parse this into something that our the datetime module from Python can understand. So date parser dot parse. Yeah, I think that's all I need. Date parser dot parse, and then else. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then from here we'll just continue. Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah. If time ago is none, we're going to break. We're just going to exit. Yeah, we're just going to exit. Else, continue. So continue, and so break breaks out of the for loop. I'm just going to straight up, like, if it's just break, we're just going to break out. Continue means we're going to, oh, you know what? Yeah, continue means we're going to continue looping through the for loop. So from here, we're going to check the days since. So days since equals datetime dot now. So datetime, the datetime library has a datetime module, which then calls the now function, which tells you what time it is. And that's going to minus time ago, and we're probably going to we're going to want to know the days. So we're going to turn that into days. And from there, we're just gonna, if days since, we're gonna divide by days since in a moment. So if it's equal to 0, we're gonna set equal to 1. And then, average views, it's not even that late. It's like 524 here. So this is gonna be an int of num views divided by days since. And then we're gonna set the title dict, title equal to average views. Average views. Okay, so let's just make sure that works. I might get something wonky with the time ago thing, so I just want to make sure this works. I told you long ago I wanna run, I got what they're looking for. Okay, it works. Okay, lit. So we're not printing anything out, so like, whatever. Anyway, so now let's call our API. Let's do our API calls for Polarity. So we'll get our title dict. So we have the Polarity URL already? Yeah, I got the Polarity URL up here. Okay, cool. Polarity scores equals 0, or equals, sorry, empty. What's the other one? Views per day. Empty. Okay, so we're gonna create, this is gonna be our x, this is gonna be our y, and it's gonna be our x values, it's gonna be our y values, and then we're just gonna scatter plot them. So for title and title dict, come on, title dict. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so this should return title dict. Yeah, okay. Return title dict. Actually, yeah, this is a good one. So home title dict equals this. Let's print this out just to make sure that things are looking, whatever. So I'm just gonna pass here. Told you long ago on the road, I got what they looking for. Okay, so this is not working. Yeah. Well, let's just put out here if time ago is none. Continue. Ha! Whoops. Python YT views by Polarity. Let's see that. Oh, I need to stretch. Oh, sitting in front of the computer all day has me like hunched over all the time. It's like not good. Oh. I told you long ago on the road, I got what they're looking for. All right, cool. So this looks about right. This is what it should look like. So now let's just plot it. So let's get our polarity scores. So we're gonna make a body is equal to text. Oops, text is gonna equal to the title, and then response is just gonna be response is equal to request.post URL equals polarity URL, polarity URL. Headers equals headers, JSON equals body, and let's do it. Dict equals JSON.loads. Whoo, wow, that's a bad spelling right there. And then we're going to append dict text polarity, I believe. Text polarity. Whoops, that's not right. Views per day, dot append, title, dict, title. Ooh. Okay, and now we're just going to plot our results. So plt.scatter polarity scores, views per day, and then we'll give an X label as title polarity score. We'll give it a Y label, views per day. We'll give it a title, views per day by title polarity score. And then we'll just views versus polarity, title polarity.png. So I'm just going to save it as a PNG file here, and that should be it. That should work, and we'll see what happens here. Boom, 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 boom. I told you long ago on the road, I got what they looking for. Yeah, this song's really stuck in my head. I don't know, like I don't know how the song ends either, so it's just like I can't even like. Oh, I printed everything again. Okay, well. Tatted up 13-year-old exposes D1 commits for $1,000. ATL one-on-ones with Travis Hunter. Okay, that sounds pretty sick. Last to take hand off Lamborghini keeps it. I mean, how poor people survive in the USA DW documentary. Wow. So let's see what this looks like. So yeah, this looks kind of like the polarity scores that we got from our from the blog post. You can kind of see it. I'll put the blog post link in the description. You can see it. So yeah, the highest viewed video has like a polarity score of 0. Most of these views are pretty similar. It looks like this one really negative view has a decent number of views per day, and then it looks like most videos are clustered around this 0 or slightly positive, slightly negative area. So yeah, it turns out the answer to the question, do more polarizing titles get more views? It turns out the answer to that question is no. All right, well, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this, give me a like, give me a follow, and I'll see you next time. All right, peace out.